Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we bring about a bunch of topics regarding social, psychological, emotional connectives, and we try to do that as often as we can. Got over 500, and I think it's 580 now, something like that. Audios available for your listening pleasure, closing in on 600. And if you're looking for a coach, would love to be able to serve you in that way, life, business, relationship, whatever have you. Would love to be of service to you if I can. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out. There's a couple ways to do that. You can do that through this particular YouTube channel in the About Me section. My website and information is there. Or you can do it through Twitter at PO Perception, and I can get back to you through a direct message. Either way, would love to be of help to you in there. So the audio today is going to be about overcoming depression. How do you know if you've overcome depression? So there's about 6 or so things I want to look at here. The first is you know your triggers. You can identify them before they take you into a behavioral pattern that doesn't serve your highest good. That doesn't mean that you won't have slip-ups. It also doesn't mean that you won't gain new triggers along the way. Lots of people, it can take months or even years in some cases to learn their depression triggers, their PTSD triggers, their panic triggers, anything in the cluster that deals with emotional regulation in a negative vein. It can take months or years to learn your triggers, but when you know the majority of them and you can ultimately see how they're impacting your life and you know how to divert away from them, that's a sign that you're overcoming depression, because the diversion is something that's going to be with you for the rest of your life to some degree. Now, it may be very, very minor. In other words, you may only have something that triggers you every few months or every couple times a year, or it may be something you have to battle with on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis. But when you understand your triggers in a way that you know how to manage them consistently, not every time, but consistently, you're in a good space as it relates to your depression. The next thing is self-compassion. You're kind to yourself. You understand that this is a journey. There's going to be up days, there's going to be down days. There will be emotional roller coaster like related thoughts, and it doesn't mean that you have failed. It also doesn't mean that you are not capable of getting to a better place in the future, or getting to a place that makes sense to you in the given moment. Then you begin to understand that your emotional state is not static. It's ever changing, ever evolving, and you give yourself a chance to evolve through your emotional core without being judgmental of any backslides that you may have. The next is you challenge your irrational or non-productive thoughts. Challenge doesn't necessarily mean that you always overcome them or you never give in to them. We all have moments where, and myself included, as a PTSD survivor, where our mind takes us to a place that's kind of short-circuited for a little bit. But when you begin to see yourself starting to short-circuit, you can look at this and go, does this really make sense? Is this who I really want to be? How I want to portray myself? The things I want to do? The way I want to go? And you begin to be able to cut that off. Now, 2/3, 3/4, 9/10, whatever, your success rate will vary based on your understanding of your triggers and your self-diversionary tactics. But when you've overcome depression for the most part, you will be able to do that on a pretty consistent basis. You're willing to put yourself first when necessary. This could mean self-care. This could mean special food. This could mean time to relax. This could mean changing your schedule. This could mean avoiding toxic people or situations. There's a million ways that putting yourself first can manifest, but you understand the need to do it. You also kind of plan to do it. So, in other words, if you know something is going to potentially be a trigger, you'll confront and then avoid the trigger. So if there's certain people that you're around and they trigger you and you're not having a strong day, you might reschedule your visit with them. If there's a certain task that you have, that gives you issues, sometimes going to meetings or dealing with people from the medical or legal profession or any number of things can be a trigger. You put yourself first and you begin to understand maybe take somebody with you who can be a support system after a difficult conversation or difficult situation so that you can recover quicker. Putting you first means asking for help, and you understand how to do that effectively and efficiently once you've mastered your depression. The next is you accept that perfection is an illusion, meaning that your version of perfect today and your version of perfect next week, next month, next year are going to be different, but none of them really matter because your version of perfect may be different from someone else's. As long as you're giving your best effort to whatever is in front of you, you begin to understand that the rest of it is just the illusion of competition coming into itself, and that isn't the illusion of competition hardly ever serves someone well, and you care about, ultimately serving yourself well as you go forward. And so self-care is also the last in this. So whether that means taking time to rest, time to eat well, time to meditate, pray, do whatever you do on a spiritual level, time for socialization, time for reflection. You balance your time well and use that time as you need to. You're ever changing, ever evolving, ever adapting to whatever your needs portfolio is in the moment, and you're gentle to yourself about it. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.